And so there was a story about a man. All right. It was a man, and he had a best friend. Anybody got best friends in this place? Raise your hand if you got. Okay, best friends. All right. She got happy about that. I love that. Okay. And they were best friends, and they grew up together. They grew up together from childhood up until now. And this man loved his best friend. Anybody love their best friend? Go, best friend. That's my best friend. Yeah, okay. I love my best. He loved his best friend. And he trusted everything with everything in him. They spent a lot of time together. All right. They grew up together. And as the man got older, his best friend got engaged. And this man particularly did not like the fiance. Okay. Let's go a little deeper. Matter of fact, he said that she was the ugliest bride ever. My God. I mean, just straight up, he didn't hold nothing back. She ugly, bruh. And not just ugly as in looks, but ugly even on the inside. I mean, have you ever seen somebody so fine? You be like, ooh, they fine. But then you start figuring out all these issues. It ain't worth it, sis. It ain't worth it. But although she meant well, she had so many issues. And he wondered how his best friend could love somebody with so many problems, with so many issues. You know, she just talked to people any kind of way. Don't have no tact, okay? And he was just wondering, man, how could he really love a woman like her? And so let me tell you who this best friend was. This best friend was named Jesus. And his fiance/bride is the church. I'm going to say that one more time. The best friend was Jesus. And the fiance, a.k.a. bride-to-be, is the church. So today we are continuing our healing journey and talking about the big elephant in the room called church hurt. Yeah. Church hurt. I don't know if there's anybody in here who's ever been in some church hurt, but I know that I can say that there's been times in my life where the church has hurt me. And guess what, y'all? Newsflash, I grew up here my whole entire life. There's no other church that I've been a member of. This is the only church. And guess what? I have experienced church hurt. My mama said I can tell the truth. So what is church hurt? Here we go. Take your notes out. Church hurt is the pain sometimes inflicted by religious institutions. And I want to add, by church people. Yeah. You see, this is a pain that distances sufferers from their communities, and from God. You see, there are so many different experiences, stories, encounters that I have heard with church hurt. But I want you to know, even with all of those encountered in experiences, that it is possible for you to heal from the hurt and still hold on to your faith. And as I was preparing today, the Holy Spirit revealed to me that pretty much a lot of our messages have been for followers of Jesus Christ. That our messages has been for the believer and not really for the non-believer. And I didn't notice that, but again, it takes the Holy Spirit to reveal all truth. And guess what? He was revealing the truth to me. And you'd be like, hold on, wait. But isn't it the church mission to go out and reach the non-believer or the non-follower of Jesus Christ? Isn't that what Jesus did himself? He did. Jesus went out just healing folks. You heal, you get a healing, you get a healing, you get a healing. I mean, just healing everybody. He went out into the nations and healed, set free, and delivered. So why shouldn't we as a church do the same? But you see, in the text today in Matthew, Jesus sent out his 12. And if you don't know the 12, again, Vacation Bible School is this week, Monday through Wednesday, okay? Starting at 7 p.m., you can come on in to learn about the 12 disciples. And if you don't know, disciples are just students and followers and learners of Jesus Christ. You see, Jesus sent out his 12 with instructions to not go the easy route. You see, when Jesus was getting ready to allow them and to permit them to go out and to spread the gospel, they thought that their first assignment was to go to the Gentiles, was to go to all of the other nations and proclaim the greatness of Jesus just like he did. But Jesus said, no, I want you to go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He instructed them first, I need you to go home. Yeah. So what are you saying, Pastor Chelsye? Before we can go out to the nations, we have work to do in the house. All right, to paint it more. Growing up, my mother, if I wanted to go out somewhere, and I'd be like, Mama, can I go spend the night at my best friend's house? She's like, yeah, but I need you to do me a favor. Make sure my house is clean. Okay, so we have the same mama. Love it. Make sure my house is clean. Don't leave my house in a disarray. And God is saying the same thing. Before we can go out anywhere else, before we go outside of any four walls, before we want to go out and do all the testifying, we have to take care of our house and take care of our house. See, before you want to get on a stage, before you want to get on a pulpit, before you want to take the mic, before you want to be a leader, before you want to get a title, I need you to take care of my house. I need you to take care of my house. I need you to go find my sheep. You see, there are some sheep who are lost. There are some sheep that are hurting. There are some sheep that are weak. There are some sheep that are blind. There are some sheep who have been spiritually neglected. There are some sheep who have been spiritually abused and misused. There are some sheep who are scared. There are some sheep who are wondering. His sheep have been hurt, neglected, and or abused. And guess what, guys? It's our time to go and get them. Somebody say, take care of my house. You're not ever going to invite some friends over to your house when the house is messy. What you do, you start pushing everything under the bed. You try to make it look presentable. You try to get it all together because you don't want them to see how messy the house really is when they're not around. So why in the world would you want to invite somebody over to your church when you see that it's a mess? Why? When you see that it's a mess. See, God is calling us to take care of his house. And you can't take care of his house without loving his people. Yeah. You can't. We can't be clicked up. We can't be choosy on who we want to love. We can't be selective on who we want to be nice to. We have to love his people right. We got to stop the gossip. We got to stop the group chats. We got to stop the politics. We got to stop the traditionalism. We got to stop the legalism. We got to stop the sneakiness. We got to stop the unhealthy secrecy. We got to stop the division. And we have to take care of his house. Somebody say, take care of his house. Maybe you can't go get any sheep and help find them because you're just as lost as them. You just as lost as them. When I started doing the study about how sheep operate, and they operate in herds. They operate in a group because whenever one sheep goes somewhere, the other will follow. Wherever one sheep will go, the other will follow their lead without hearing the good shepherd, without seeing the good shepherd. Because, okay, hold on. Here we go. So you can understand. Us in the African American community. When we see one person run, we don't ask no questions. What we do? All you need is about 2 good confirmations. I'm just going to go. That's just what we do, right? We just run. So the same way with the sheep, because they're so scared and they're so paranoid that when one run, I'm going to run with them. But let me tell you, we cannot be grouped up like that. We cannot be so clicked up to where we don't hear the Father in the church. Yeah, we can't be so clicked up to where we can't hear what the good shepherd is saying. And let me tell you, the good shepherd is Jesus, and we must follow him. So we're in summer healing. Pastor Chelsye, how do I manage church hurt? The truth is, some of us have been abused. And it could be in all ways, verbally, mentally, spiritually, some even sexually. Abused by church leaders, church members, friends or family that belong in the church. So the first thing you should do is write this down, because truth of the matter is we all will experience church hurt in one way in our life. So I need you to write this down. The first thing is we have to acknowledge that you are hurt. You have to acknowledge that you are hurt. See, a lot of us, we be trying to push aside how we feel or what's really going on, but you have to acknowledge that their hurt is present. And let me tell you, there is a big difference in hurt feelings and church hurt. I'm going to say that one more time for the people in the back. There's a difference between hurt feelings versus church hurt. You see, there's a difference in emotion and in affliction. See, I'm not saying avoid or ignore how you feel, but church hurt isn't you being mad about the walls being painted another color. That ain't church hurt. Church hurt isn't upset that a person took your favorite parking spot. Just get here earlier. I don't know what to tell you. They done took my spot. Your name not on it. So go ahead and get here early so you can get your spot. That isn't church hurt. That is hurt feelings. And you're entitled to that. That's fine. But don't be going around calling that church hurt. Mother Tate laughing. We got to define what church hurt really is. Church hurt is affliction. See, it's pain and suffering. Church hurt is heavy. Woo. See, church hurt can be so heavy, it can start breaking your heart. Church hurt is like a heart that is broken into two. It's so heavy, it can throw you into depression. It's so heavy, you don't even want to get out of bed. I remember being church hurt. I missed church for a whole month because I couldn't fathom how the people of God could treat us any type of way. Because we chose to have the lights off and worship as young kids. But the altar was filled with young children crying out to the Father. But the only focus was on the church lights being off. But souls were being impacted, and I was hurt. It was a pain that I carried. It was a pain that I didn't understand, because all that Jesus wants me to do is come closer to him. So why would somebody be mad because I came closer to him with the lights off? would you judge me getting closer to him? Because we have a little fog machines. And what they fail to realize is, well, this ain't the club where you're dropping your kids off at the stadium on Friday nights. And let me tell you, they wasn't skating, baby. Okay, they wasn't skating, baby. But you're scared for them to come into the clubhouse of Jesus is to really get Jesus. But you want to, okay. Church hurt is pain, it's suffering, it's affliction, it's heavy. And whatever affliction it is that you have, especially with the church, I need you to acknowledge it. Somebody say, acknowledge it.